Yes, Google it is on. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good night. You know, all those things. Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting live. Today's Sunday. So Sunday, we're going to finish this today. We got to finish it today because it's been on the wall and been on the wall, and been on the wall all week, waiting for today. Anyways, let's see who is all here. Got to put some googly eyes because my eyeballs are a little on the messed up side the last couple days. One of my pupils is bigger than the other and it won't go down. So I have photophobia pretty bad. And being around the light sucks, but whatever. We got Yolanda, Eva, Kim, Karen, Beverly, Vicky, Karen, Grace, Gloria, Mary, Beverly, Melody, Yolanda, Sue, Shelley, Mary, Leanne, Patricia, and so many more. Welcome, everybody. Hello, if I missed your name. So last week we started this. I did say I was going to finish the blocks. So they are now 4 patches, okay? And then I just flopped them back on the wall. I didn't care where anything sits. I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. So I had enough for 8 across by 8 down. So that's one thing I got done this week. The other things, I'll show you the things I got done this week. If you aren't on Instagram, I sometimes post things only on Instagram. So I started this binding thing, right? Where I made a big giant thing of binding. I've showed you before. But I added to it. This is my giant binding wheel. You think it'll roll a car? You want to guess how much this is? Well, how much it was before I took 288 inches off, and I didn't do the math for that. But it's 4,290 inches. So we'll just say 4,000 inches, which equals like 118 yards, which also equals 355-ish feet. Something like that. That's a lot of binding. And this is all scraps. I don't know if you guys do this, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this real quick. I make a lot of scrap quilts, but I also make a lot of regular quilts, which leave me with scrap binding. Like this box still has a ton in it, but what's left in here is just the solids and really long pieces that I can use on small projects like wall hangings and table runners, right? So I literally, and then my 2 1/4 inch strips are all in here too. From all my open gate box, I get 2 1/4 inch is the usual size I cut binding. So I literally took all that binding, all those leftover pieces, and some of them I chopped, like they were like 25 inches long. So I chopped it in half, you know, hooked everything edge to edge. It was still folded in half. So I unfolded just the piecing it together part, sewed it all up, repressed all the seams and folded it right back in half, and bam. This shall last me probably at least 10 to 15 quilts, because if you use only, I just did a 54 by whatever quilt, which I'm going to show you. I think it's 54, something like that, a lap quilt, and I used only 288 inches off of the 4,290, which I started with. So just so you know, if you make a lot of scrap quilts, but you also make a lot of regular quilts, scrap quilts can have scrap binding because it's all scraps. So just make yourself a big, huge roll, and then the binding is already made when you go to finish your quilt. And then you don't have to worry about anything. You don't got to worry about matching something up because it already matches. Which brings me to what I use scrap binding for. I'm doing this one first. Yes, I know. So here's a scrap quilt that I have made. I never did a video on this. It literally was just 5-inch scrap squares. And then I used 288 inches of the binding for my scrap thing. But I made this purposely to test out new stitching that I was thinking about doing. So it has a new quilting design that I came up with to make this. It's like a, I don't know, it looks like cathedral window things, but it's not a cathedral window. It's different than that, but it's an arch kind of design that connects each block. Show them the back. Show them the back. And the back is kitty cats or lions. I don't know what you want to call this. tigers, yeah. Kitty cat tigers. That's what the back is. But this thing is like 54 by 63, you know, and I was able to use up some of that binding, which like works out perfect because again, it was all scraps. And you would never really look at the binding and go, oh, that fabric's not in there because here's a blue, but here's a dark blue fabric. So you would think, you know, that's the same one, but it really isn't. It's just scraps. So this is what you can do with your scrap binding if you make it. Another thing, all those small pieces that are left.
Is all your binding 2 1/4?
All my binding is 2.5 inches.
Okay.
So all that leftover stuff that's bigger pieces, I can cut those bigger pieces off and put it on this. So this was another little project. I showed you guys I made it, but I quilted it on the long arm. As you could tell, I used it. The same backing fabric. I just loaded a lot of backing fabric of that cat print and put this on there. So here's my little miniature project. And some people were curious. Yes, I separated those, what are now 1/4 inch half square triangles that are cornerstones. Some people couldn't tell if they were, but they were. They were half square triangles. So there's my little project all done, and it's got binding from that box because
see the kitty cats.
It has a lot. This one, you guys watched me quilt. I posted a picture, but not everybody sees the pictures on the community tab.
It was your Monday.
This was what I did on the long arm on Monday. It is a 18 by 63 table runner. It's already sold. Don't ask. It's going to a new home. But I fancily quilted this on a live stream, and obviously I couldn't see the chat. So on the first pass over, because I stopped before doing the other one, I did 2 sections of lines that are right next to each other, and someone said, oh, that's supposed to be a feather, and then I kept going. Well, so when I came back after eating to quilting it, I did 2 lines on this opposite side and then re-lined it back up. So I purposely messed it up, and you can see the quilting. It's a purl chain in the border, and then it alternates dash lines and feathers, and then the swirly thing in the center. But this is a really easy little braid kind of thing. No, there's not a video for it. The corners, I did this cool, like, whatever with the ruler, which I brought into that edge too. So it's like matchy-matchy, you know? So that's what I did this week. Matchy-matchy. Yep. So that's my this week projects. All done. And now it's time for putting together this on the wall. So all the rest I did also, I counted the spaces all the way around since it was 8, so that's 16 by 16. I got a bunch more half square triangles made also while I was at it so that I can go around the whole entire perimeter with these. So I made 16 for each side and then 18 for the top and bottom so that I can, you know, have an equal amount that goes all the way around. So let's do that. Let's put it together now. Now that I showed you all my weekly projects. Yeah. I think I'm going to stand for this, though, because it's up and down, up and down. I'm going to make sure I have a 1/4 inch before I do anything. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. And I just put that there. I'm so used to it now. I know where to put it. Let's move this wonderful chair out of the way and start putting this thing together. Again, I didn't care where anything landed. I just put it together. That's.
You want me to pull them down and hand them to you?
No, it's fine. So I'm just going to put them right sides together. I only have 1 seam to nest. That's the cool part about this, making this with the half square triangles. And then I'll just alternate every other row. Oops, we do need a better stitch. I was binding, so that's why my stitches are messed up. I do need a foot pedal, though. And then what I'll do is alternate which way, right or left, for the seam. So this whole row I'll press to the right, and the next one to the left. And this is something super simple that you can do with half square triangles and single pieces of fabric. And there's no real nesting besides of the seams when they come together at the 4-patch part. And all of the half square triangles are going in the same direction purposely to create like this giant Jacob's ladder look, because that's pretty much what it looks like. It's really fun, and it uses up scraps, which is like a big thing for me. Or else this stuff would just be sitting around, not being used. Hopefully everybody had a lovely week and is having a good rest of the weekend. The only thing I have to do this week is I got to get some long arm quilting client jobs done, and I got to go to physical therapy. That's it. Those are the only things I need to do. Everything else, I'll probably want to do it, so I'll do it.
Do open gate quilts?
Oh, I have to film my open gate quilts. It came, but my eyes are bad, so I didn't want to work on it because I need to wear glasses. Aren't helping, and I need them to read the patterns. So unfortunately, I did not get that filmed this week, but I will this coming week as soon as my eyes are 100%. I don't know why they call it, this doctor called it an eye grain. My eyes, they only hurt when there's light on, you know? So I don't know why it would be called an eye grain, because it's not like a migraine of my eyes. It doesn't feel like that. It just literally hurts in light, and or when I change from light to dark to light, you know, like walking inside from outside when you can't see. Well, imagine that constantly walking from one kind of lighting into another. And then blurry vision on top of it all. It's annoying. But it's not no migraine of the eyes. My hair is falling out as we stand here, and it's on my arm or something. Driving me nuts. Somebody asked me this last week, am I still using the knee lift when I stand? And the answer is yes. It's actually good exercise because you're like moving your hips. All right, let me move this up because I'm just going to stack the rows on top of each other right here in front of me, instead of putting them back up on the wall, because I got to press them anyway. So this one, I will press to the left.
Why don't you ask the fans if they prefer the talking or non-talking, just music?
Oh, so you guys watch my open gate videos, right? And last month, for the first time in forever, ever, I did a talking open gate video. Do you guys prefer the talking open gate video as opposed to my normal non-talking open gate video? I only say this because the talking, I have to cut a lot of stuff out. The non-talking, I do cut the video out, but I'm able to speed things up so that the process, filming-wise, is shorter, if that makes any sense. That way I'm not like constantly stopping, talking, moving camera like I would when I film a regular video. I'm just curious, you guys prefer them for me to talk or not to talk? And just listen to some tunes while watching me make the project. Because remember, I'm not allowed to give measurements, so, because they're not my patterns. So it kind of makes the talking kind of just me talking for no reason. Like I'm doing now, just talking to you guys.
I like your hair tonight.
Oh, thank you. My hair was in braids for like 5 days. It was taken out of, I went out to church this morning, so I took my hair out and just finger combed my hair, because or else it gets really fluffy. But it was in braids for a whole week, and I took it out, and today's hair washing day, so it's got that crinkle to it. It was crinklier this morning, but it fades in my hair. My hair don't hold curls, like at all. I curled it for Maxine's wedding, and I don't know, we were there, what, not even 10 minutes, and my hair was already straight again. I definitely do not have good hair for styling. But I have long hair, which I got to find things to do with it besides just tying it up in a ponytail all the time. Or a clip, because technically a clip is different than a ponytail. So I do clip my hair up a lot. But I have really thin hair, so it's not like it's heavy yet. It will be eventually, though, the longer it gets. What was the answers for the talking or not talking?
You had a lot of both. The talking so far is on the top, but you had a lot of both. A lot of people like both.
Yeah.
Some people like the not talking because it seems faster. Some people.
Here's another one. Instead of me making long arm quilting videos, did you guys enjoy the fact that I just randomly popped up with a long arm quilting video on Monday and did it live?
Yeah, there we go. How many people like?
How many people actually like the long arm videos? Because I pulled those away because they weren't doing good on my channel. But I mean, if you guys like watching random ones where I'm custom quilting something, at least you know you get some long arm quilting from me. It's the general idea of what I was doing, you know. All right, these go to the right.
They seem to like the long arm.
Well, I'm glad you guys liked watching me quilt on the long arm. I got to figure out a way to keep the camera steadier, though. I don't know what to do about that. It vibrates no matter what I do. I have a GoPro, but I don't have the actual hook for the GoPro that would not shake, because it shakes no matter what on the long arm. But I would have to film videos to use that, because I don't know how to use Wi-Fi on the GoPro to make it usable as a live stream camera. I don't know how to do that at all, and I've looked it up and I still don't know. That's why I've never used it. I've used it for filming things, but I've never used it for the long arm for live streams. Oh, my seams are like totally not nesting because I can barely see them. They're so off. Whoever ends up with this quilt is going to end up with a not greatly pieced quilt. Well, at least the, you know, putting it together parts. I never said I was perfect. I can feel the seam. I just can't see what I'm doing very well. I thought the glasses would work. I wore them all day yesterday, but it just made things blurrier, honestly. So I was telling Scott we were trying to read and play our game and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, I just could not see. Sounds like it's running out of thread, I think, in the bobbin. Sorry if my hair keeps hitting the microphone. This row will go to the left. It's gonna be a cute quilt. Oops, no, left. Any questions or anything? I feel like absence of wordage is coming out of my mouth. If you're curious, these were 5-inch squares that were in my stash, the solids, and then the other ones were 5 inches ish that I cut down to 4.5 because that was a better number for the scraps. Huh? These are 4 patch blocks. Yep, they're just little 4 patch blocks. So it's 2 half square triangles in the same direction of the seam, and then 2 squares. So you can make this super duper scrappy and super easy. But if you missed it, watch last Sunday's video. I show how I start making everything. I started off with just the half square triangles, and then I added my squares. But you can definitely do this with 5-inch squares to the whole thing and make half square triangles starting with the 6-inch squares to get 5-inch half square triangles. And then you just add your charm squares. And then you can make something all matchy-matchy. This kind of is matchy-matchy in a way. All right. Next. Can you turn the fan on? I'm working up a sweat in here.
Yep, it is getting warm this time of year.
All right, those were left. These are right. Can I have my hair clip from the other room, please? The one that's next to the bed.
It's on the side of the bed,
Yeah.
the end table there.
Yeah, the clip. Thank you.
It's gonna get you.
All right, well, you guys got to see enough of my funky hair today.
It's not funky, it's beautiful.
My cute hair. Like that's enough of that. Once the fan is on, I have so many little tiny hairs, they just blow in my face. So annoying. Oh, Scott's gonna hold up the scrappy binding again.
Giant wheel.
Somebody wants to see my giant binding wheel.
Giant wheel of binding.
Yeah. It's a lot of binding, but you know what? It's so worth pre-making it all with all those scraps. Because then it's already ready for each project. I tell you, that's like the smartest idea I ever had. To just make a big, huge, giant thing of binding. And in honesty, I probably should just make a ton of binding of all different colors and all different lengths and just have, like take a whole thing of black and just chop it up for whatever into strips and then make binding out of it. That way I can just pull from that every time I need black binding or, you know what I mean? Like just every single color that I would usually bind with. Since I do make a lot of quilts that I choose binding last, and it's not always the fabric line. In fact, it's probably 90% of the time not the fabric line that is in when I do make fabric lined quilt, where matchy fabric quilts. I do use a lot of just random stuff for binding that matches. Like that table runner I just showed you that a bit ago. That has binding that doesn't even match the fabric line, but yet it matches because it was on my shelf in the yardage, and it's like, oh, this is perfect. And it's a totally different brand of fabric from a totally different line that never even went together in the first place, but I made it go together. I even have kits, but they don't come with the binding fabric. They don't even come with the backing. They just make the top. So I always have to choose for those as well from my stash. That's why it's good to have the yardage instead of a ton of scraps, because the scraps I can't turn into binding. And I make a lot of quilts, so I definitely need the yardage. I'm struggling to get my scraps piles down. There's just too much. All right, wait. Which way did I go? That's right, so this is left. I look at it because I have to see where the seams are joined, because some of the other seams do go to the left. Because again, I don't know which way these were pressed. They were always pressed towards the flat square, not the half square triangle. They were pressed towards the regular square. I thought I turned that. Okay, but I didn't. If there's one backwards, oh well, I'm going to leave it. It'll just add to the interest of the quilt. Stuff like this is a pretty quick make, but the part that takes forever is making the half square triangles. Turning them into 4 patches was not hard at all. Didn't take very long. I think I only spent like an hour and 20 minutes on that. I feel like I went silent again. I had this weird dream today for nap. So in my dream, I had a superpower. The weirdest superpower.
Oh, you and your superpower dream.
I rarely have superpower. My dreams are usually horrible. Like I have horrible dreams and I scream and cry and talk in my sleep. Anyways, this dream during nap time today, I had a superpower ability. I just flicked this little like on and off switch in my wrists. Yeah, in my wrists. I know, weird spot, right? I could flick it on at any time, and then I had super strength. Like it was so strong, I could shake your hand and break it into 500 mazillion pieces. Like I had super strength, But I had to turn it off. I had to be a good girl and not let anyone know, because that was part of my deal. I couldn't let anybody know my superpower. So I'd flick it back off. And I'd go be a regular person, and then I'd flick it on, and I'd had super strength. It was the weirdest dream. I don't even know all the things in the dream that I was doing. I just remember the button that I had to click off and on in my wrists. It was weird. And it had like some special stuff that they ran in my body that every time I flicked it on, that gave me the super strength. It was just like the weirdest dream ever. And I haven't watched a superhero movie or anything lately, so I don't know where it came from or why I was even thinking it, but okay, that was left, so these are right. But yeah, that was some kind of dream. And I slept long too. I slept from like 1 to 3 whatever when I got up. These are right. Could you imagine, though, having some kind of superpower where you have to do something to your body, though, to turn it on? Like a super quilting power? What would your super quilting power be? Mine would be speed. Getting it done fast, like
You already have that.
turning the quilting process into hyper mode, but in real life. Like you see it in my videos when I speed them up. Imagine that. Being able to just have a superpower that you can turn a switch on and bam, you're super fast. Done.
You already have that power, though.
Scott says I already have that power, but
You are super fast.
I need more speed. I need a faster machine is what I need. And a faster body, because I feel like I'm running on slow-mo.
Tell them about your squirts.
Oh, my squirts.
They want to know about your squirts.
I don't usually wear skirts. I wear shorts. But I thought, I saw them at the store. We went to Goodwill, to the Veterans Thrift, and they had, what was it, 8 pairs?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think I got 8 pairs. They're skirts, so they're shorts, yoga shorts, with a skirt on top, the skirts. It was a popular thing, like in the early and mid 2000s. And there was 8 different pairs, 8 of them. I just held one up to my waist and said, oh, it's got an elastic waistband. It'll fit. Sure enough, it fit. We brought them all home. He washed them all for me, and every single pair fits perfectly. And like 3 of the pairs are a different size than the rest of the pairs. And 3 of the ones that are different size are a different brand even, but they're all exactly the same. They all have the pleats in the same spot and everything. I thought it was kind of weird. The 3 different brands, technically. But yeah, I was like, that's interesting. But they all fit, so I bought all of them because it was 6 items for $1. Pretty much fill a bag for $1 just to like get rid of them, And yeah. I think after like the 7th pair, the lady stopped counting the items that we had. Because I also got, what else did I get? I got a nightgown. No, I didn't get a nightgown that time. What did I get?
I don't remember, but
yoga pants.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got some yoga pants.
Thrift, they need to check it out.
Yeah, if you guys have a Veterans Thrift, you definitely should start shopping at it. The only reason why I had to buy new things is summertime is coming, and I always wear pajama pants. And all of these past summers, you guys have seen, I sweat my butt off in here, even with the AC on under quilts. So I figured, you know what, instead of wearing gym shorts that make me look like I have a load in my butt. Have you ever watched me reach up here and I wear gym shorts? Yeah, no more gym shorts for Tiffy. I'm going to wear these skirts. Skirts or regular shorts. I'm going to save the gym shorts for Scott and his constant need to wear them. So no more saggy butt gym shorts for me. I will dress like a girl on the bottom half.
They all want to know what you ate before your nap, too. To give you
What did I eat?
Dream.
What did I eat before nap? I had a ham sandwich, and I alternate my sandwiches every day. I either have a ham sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly, and then I have string cheese with my sandwich, 2 pieces. And yeah, and we played our game too. We play a trivia game together. It's an app. You guys might actually love it. We love it. We play it all the time. We have this app. It's called Quizland, and it's a trivia game. It's called Quizland. It's in the App Store. I don't know about Apple, but it is in the Android store. And we get stumped with a lot of the questions, but you build points and blah, blah, blah. So we played that, but none of the questions were superhero movie related or superhero anything related. So I don't even know why I had a superhero dream. And the last movie we watched that was even closely superhero-ish was, what was that movie called? That one with the guy that had the power to Craven. What was his power again? Hunter. He had hunter power, animal power, and can climb on buildings. But that was days and days ago.
That was a while ago. That was like
more than a week ago that we watched that movie. It's actually a good movie, guys. If you haven't seen Craven, you should watch it. It's pretty good. If you like blood and guts and stuff, I mean, we do. But because I watch everything. But yeah, so I don't know where.
Tell them Tiff will watch a romance.
I will watch
a comedy or an action.
Yeah.
Or horror.
I watch everything: romance, comedy, drama, horror. I don't watch horror before going to bed because that 100% does affect my dreams, and I already have bad dreams on a normal basis. It gets so bad that Scott actually has to come into the room and shush me. Not like shush me in a bad way, but shh, honey, it's okay. You're just dreaming, and he'll kind of comfort me to enough to where I wake up enough that the dream will stop, and then I can go back to sleep and sleep regularly without horrible dreams. But I have an app, a sleep app that I use that monitors my sleep, and we definitely found out that horror movies, horror TV shows, anything with blood and guts, they all cause me to talk in my sleep and scream and yell and cry and all sorts of stuff. And it records it, and I listen to it the next morning. And yeah, other than I feel like I have sleep apnea because my snoring is so weird. I probably do, just don't know it. I snore a lot, and my sleep talking. It's never really bothered anybody. My kids were scared about it at first. You know, they hear me screaming in my sleep or something, but it's just from PTSD trauma in my life that causes it. But movies definitely activate it. Bad movies, I mean. A movie could be great, but if it has killing scenes or something, woof, my brain takes it to a whole new level.
What's the name of the app?
The name of
your sleep app.
My sleep app it's called Sleep Tracker. I don't know. Let me see what it looks like on. It's called Sleep Tracker by Leap Fitness, LEAP, Leap Fitness, like leaping. Oh my goodness, come on, load. And it comes to this thing right here, and every single day, if I press sleep now, I can enter my options. Like, did I have a snack before going to bed? Did I do I have my bed up or down? Because I do sleep in my bed in zero gravity or flat. I can choose if I took my meds, if I took my sleeping pill. You can make all sorts of options. You edit it yourself, and then at the end of every single one of them. So last night it said I slept pretty good. I got an 83% on my sleeping, and I slept 6 hours and 23 minutes, but I was awake 13 minutes of that. And it says how much deep sleep I get, how much REM sleep. I got 40 minutes of REM sleep, 40 hours and 36 minutes of deep sleep, 1 hour and 7 minutes of light sleep, and 23 of awake time. But yeah, all my sleep notes in here. So my notes for me is like, do my joints hurt? So I can click on if my joints hurt, if I'm having neck pain, back pain, cough. You can add all those things. That way you can take all of your sleep patterns and all of those notes that you're filling out and figure out what's causing, say you're waking up or you have to pee 500 times in the night, which is apparently something after 40, it just happens, you know? But like you can fill out all those things and find out what are the causes of, you know, do you snore only when you're laying flat? Do you snore when you're sitting up? You know, do you fall asleep on your right but wake up on your left? You can put that in, you know, and then it'll have, let me go to the day before, it'll record it. So all of, not last night, but the night before, I talked in my sleep, and these are screams, and it'll tell you dream talk, dream snoring, or snoring, others, and then it'll say miscellaneous sounds or environmental sounds that it picks up. You can just delete those ones. You don't really need those. Like if someone closes a door.
Actually track your sleep.
I turn it on, press sleep, and I stick it next to my bed. So I used to keep it on the bed, but then you'd hear the rustling from the phone on the bed. Now I just keep it on the nightstand with the microphone facing my bed. And it picks it up really good. So it hears everything I do. It hears like literally everything I do. But yeah, I found that I've tracked my nightmares now down to watching the movies that are scary before bed or TV shows that are scary. I don't have horrible nightmares the days that I work. Oh, I turned it off already. It's Leap Fitness sleep tracker. Yeah.
It's okay. It's already turned off.
Yeah, it's Leap Fitness sleep tracker. And it's in the App Store. I'm not sure if Apple has it. They probably do. It's the same thing. Apple usually has everything that Android does. But I've found that if I work in the fabric room, so this is part of my notes, if I work an hour before I go to sleep in the fabric room, instead of watching TV, my nightmareness is lessened. I do talk in my sleep sometimes on the nights I work in my fabric room, but I went 21 days of working in that room over there, organizing scraps, and that whole 21 days, I did not talk in my sleep. I did not rustle around in my sleep. I was silent, stayed in one spot, and snored the whole time. So I'm getting this sleep pattern finally figured out, what causes what, and now I just don't watch TV before going to bed, which is good. So if me and Scott want to watch scary movies, we do it, after I get up from nap, which is hours before I have, even before I eat dinner, which is good. If I have a light snack, I notice when I have light snacks, I actually snore worse than when I don't have a light snack before bed. And a light snack, I'm talking about like 2 little cups of applesauce and like a granola bar or something. I don't have like that heavy of a snack unless I'm eating Cheez-Its, the bacon and cheese flavored Cheez-Its. Then I tend to eat a whole half of a box. Bad habits, bad habits. I just like certain junk foods. But anyway, yeah, so I found that my snoring is heavier when I eat first. But then I notice my bathroom is regular the next day if I eat first. So like it affects every part of your life, tracking your sleep. It's crazy. But it hears me get up and go to the bathroom because I go to the bathroom like 500 times a night. It's not just because I'm over the age of 40. It's because I have MS, so I have like a very weak bladder.
What's the name of it called again?
Leap, Leap Fitness Sleep Tracker. It's in the App Store.
What disease do you have?
I have multiple sclerosis. Did I lose it? Oh. I have multiple sclerosis as well as fibromyalgia, which is kind of just like an all-around diagnosis for all the pains that are with my MS. That's pretty much what the doctor told me years ago. I have arthritis. I have osteoarthritis, not rheumatoid or any of that. I have osteoarthritis, but it affects all my joints. And then I have valley fever for life. So at any time I can just pop up and have a relapse of it, which kind of sucks. But I haven't since I've had it, in 2020, which is a good thing. Very good thing, actually. But other people I know that have had it, they've had it pop up, again more than once. But I'm good there. But I have it for life. I have a ton of medical problems. Like, you guys don't even want to hear all that. I have Lyme disease. Did you guys know that? I probably said it. I contracted it as a child. And so I have chronic Lyme as an adult. So if ever needed an emergency or another like spinal tap or something, they're going to find it and then they're going to assume that's part of my problem, but it's really not, which has happened before in the past, going to the emergency room for MS related things. But yeah, I have all sorts of issues. Which way was I pressing? Okay, left. Can you turn the iron on for me now? Please and thank you.
That one, or do you want the other one?
No, this one's fine.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to press these rows once the iron heats up. And then between, while I'm waiting for it to heat up, we're going to put together our half square triangles, 2 rows of 16 and 2 rows of 18. And I'm going to make sure that they all face the same direction. So we're going to make sure that the sides all go this way. That's going to be hooked to it. That means I got to hook them together this way. So 2 sides will be this way, like that, because when it's on, yeah, okay. So we're going to hook them this way for sides, and then the top and bottom will go a different way. So now I can actually sit for this once the iron heats up.
It's making noises over here. Be picky on it.
So I'm going to chain piece together in sets of 2s. Oh, I don't want 2 of those exactly next to each other. Oh, wait. Hold on. See, I'm going to mess this up. They're going this way. Okay. Four. Six. Yeah, that's an auction, yes. Put it this way. Hold on. See, I'm going to keep doing this because I've pieced them the other way this whole entire time. 8. There's a lot of this pink. Got to use it. 10. Thirteen, 14. After I'm done counting. 15 and 16. Okay, so there's 16 right there. So these is 1 side's worth. Then I'm going to go press the actual quilt top pieces now. There's 1 side's worth. All right, you're going to have to...
What kind of interfacing would you use in making a regular tote bag?
A regular tote bag interfacing. I would just, in a regular tote bag, I don't actually... I use like Pellon SF101, or I'll just use cotton batting. Excuse me. I started out with numbness and tingling in my legs and weakness. I had really bad weakness. I was a gymnast, guys. I don't know if you guys know this. For those that are new to my channel, I was an Olympic goal, like national gymnast. And I wanted to be in the Olympics so bad, but then I found out I had scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. And not only do I have scoliosis, I have lordosis and kyphosis. The doctors have always called it the trifecta. And that's what I have. So it knocked me out of being an Olympic candidate, because if my spine breaks from having scoliosis while doing something on the bars or anywhere in gymnastics, on the floor routines or anything, I took the chance of killing myself. So they don't allow that in the Olympics. I could have gone to the Special Olympics, but I was determined to be in the Olympics. I wanted to compete next to people that were just like me and determined to, I mean, everybody is obviously determined, but I was able-bodied. I don't care what they say. And, well, that just blew my dream of being in the Olympics. But I was a super talented gymnast. And to this day, I could probably still walk on my hands, even though it's going to kill me, but I can do it probably. I have really good upper body strength now. No, you can hang something up. I'm going to put these together. So this row goes to this row.
the sun wall?
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to set those over there for a minute. I'm going to bring this down here and remember that this is the upper one, although it doesn't matter once I put it together because they all face the same direction. Yeah, probably.
Yep. Look at that.
All right, here's a little auction. I'm just going to start it at $5. So you guys can, one of you can take the chance of owning a miniature quilt from me. I usually keep all my minis. So this is like one of those things where I'm, okay, I'll get rid of it. You know, like somebody else can set it up, but I don't have no more hooks to hang my minis. I have too many and my house is full. So, you know, it's up for auction. It's only 13 by 18 or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. Little.
It's little. Here, I got it right here. Oops, that's centimeters. Yeah, 13 by 16. Oh, I was off by 2 numbers. I wrote it down in my book when I quilted it. For this small little project, though, it has like 8,000 stitches in it or something. It's got a lot of stitches in it for such a little thing. Because if you're curious, I do keep a journal on the long arm of how many stitches. So if one of my clients comes to me and says, my grandchild wants to know how many stitches are in the quilt you quilted for me 2 weeks ago. Then I could tell them exactly how much because I write it all down. I write down how long the machine ran and all that. Anyways, what was I talking about before that? I don't remember. I've already lost my train of thought.
Going to the Olympics.
Oh, going to the Olympics. So once that dream was splattered, by the time I was, well, it started early. I had juvenile arthritis. So it started early, all the arthritic pains. And when I went to the doctors when I was 16, they just blamed it on arthritis. They always blamed everything on arthritis for the first few years. So I went and I was saying, you know, I'm hurting. I have really bad weakness, blah, 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 and all these things. Well, you're young. It's probably just because you're a gymnast and your body's not used to not working out every day and not doing this and not doing that. So this is what your problems probably are. I went to the doctors again when I was 17. And they did it again. Well, it's probably because no, it's not. And then, you know, it just kept being that. So I got pregnant at 17 with my oldest. And that's when the doctors started taking me serious. I was like, this is not supposed to be happening while I'm pregnant even. But pregnancy is supposed to stop the symptoms of MS, but it doesn't, not in all cases. It can, though. And I started having worsening. So they thought, well, maybe she was just sitting low in my gut, you know, and it was pushing on my spine. That wasn't the case. So I had a spinal tap that I could have while I'm pregnant, but I couldn't have an MRI. I waited for that. It felt like forever. Well, after I had Alexa, I could have had an MRI, but I got pregnant with Damon. So obviously there goes my chances of an MRI. So I had to wait. And I've already had several spinal taps at this point. And so I waited. After I had Damon, I had him in May, and by August I got my diagnosis. So in August of 2020, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So I've had it all these years, and it's just gotten worse. I was about 28, 2008, I think, 28 years old when I started having secondary progressive symptoms, which means I'm always in an attack while I'm in an attack. So I'll have a flare at the same time as a flare. And it's been constant since. It's never gotten any better. It's only gotten worse. So I live with it, and I've made my life revolves around making sure that it doesn't affect me, if that makes any sense. All right, those two are pressed. So these are the bottoms. They were like this. I'm just going to put these on the wall so that I know where I'm at now.
You want me to move that?
No, you can leave it there. It's fine.
Here, I'm going to bring it up.
He's going to bring it
closer.
to
They
close
can
up.
see all the pretty stuff. And the key cat's on the back. Tell them they're $42.
It's at 42. Okay, stay just for a moment. All right, I'm going to press the next two and sew them together. It's good that I pre-finger pressed all these seams because now they're laying like super flat. So this one is the bottom. Oops. This one is the upper one.
Do we hear 43?
42, 42. Do we hear 43? I'm not a very good auctioneer. All right, I'm going to sew these two rows together now. I just got to remember that this one is the bottom and that one is the top.
Free shipping in the US.
Oh, and it's free shipping within the U.S. If you're outside of the U.S., you have to pay your shipping. Just thought I'd let you know. That's where all of my auctions and all of my quilt sales are all the same. It's free within the U.S., but outside the U.S., it is not.
How does it make you feel when we tell you that you inspire us?
How does it make me feel? It inspires me. When I'm inspiring you, you guys are inspiring me. You guys know this, right? All these years of being on YouTube, I come up with the things I come up with and do the things I do because of all of you. Everybody gives me their, like, you know, like I'm getting a sense of, even though I'm not even reading the chat anymore like I used to, I get this out of the comment sections when people comment, this sense of whatever, and I just need to up my game for the next project, or the next project I should dull it down a little because some people are beginners and some people are not, you know. So I am inspired to do the things I do because all of you help me, you know, and being on YouTube is 100% helped me with everything, and I've said that plenty of times before in the past. I have made so many friends. I literally have 62,000 of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. You guys are there for me. You support me. You understand. You know, I have problems too. And that inspires me to keep going for all of you.
Somewhere 45.
Huh?
45.
45.
The
For Deirdre?
Yeah,
Deirdre?
45.
45 to Deirdre going once. 45 to Deirdre going twice. Sold to Deirdre for 45. Don't forget to send us an email at Tiffany Groff Quilting. No, Tiffany's Quilting Life at yahoo.com. It's in the chat. Oh my goodness. I almost said the older one, and we don't even use that one anymore. Send us an email with your address and how you would like to pay. Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle. PayPal does have a fee, though, just so everybody knows. That's why everyone wants to use Venmo or Zelle these days. All right, just got to remember this one is the bottom one, and I'll put it up on the wall. Just stay. That's all I ask of you. Stay. Yeah. Next. Okay, this was the bottom one, and that will be the top one. when I'm making a bag, it depends on the bag I use stabilizer. Some bags you don't have to. I've used just the cotton batting and have had no issues with bags. And then sometimes I use foam. It just depends on what kind of bag I'm making. There is a bag that I do want to make. I saw it at the local guild thing that we had where I bought a bunch of stuff from the yard sale. And unfortunately, my hoop size on my embroidery machine is not the hoop size to make the bag, which really sucks because I really want to make it, but I can't because it's pretty much the whole thing is made in the embroidery machine. It's a dragon and it's super cool. I got to show you guys just because I think I put it right here. I totally need this in my life. You guys know that I love dragons and all things purple. Oh, come on, you dumb thing. I want to make Blaze the dragon, but it won't fit in my embroidery hoop to make it. Doesn't that suck? But it's a goal. It's a goal. I will figure it out somehow, some way. I will make a backpack like this. But it's the cutest thing. Look at that. It has all sorts of pockets and everything. And then the dragon thing is the flap. Look at that. And then it comes together with another flap. It has a little tail. But it's a backpack. And it's all done in the embroidery machine. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Say, I need that in my life. And see, it's got side pockets. It's got inside pockets and all sorts of stuff.
Have you made shopping bags?
I have made 2 shopping bags in my whole entire sewingness. Okay, this one was the top. This is the bottom. Oh, so we need to put it this way. That way, right there. So my brain can do this correctly. Yeah, that backpack is something I want to make. I showed Scott the lady that had hers at the thing, and she's at the show thing that I went to. She's like, oh my gosh, it's so easy. My hoop is only 7 3/4 of an inch, but it still has that inch all the way around it that you can't use. That's why, you guys, I don't do much embroidery besides putting Tiffany's Quilting Life on something. You know, I use it for tags. That's about it. That's the biggest hoop I have. It sells it at, it says it's 8 inches, but it's really not. If you go around the edge, you lose so much of it. And I can't buy bigger hoops, but I do have a friend that has an embroidery machine that has bigger hoops, so maybe I can just use someone else's machine, borrow it for like a week to do it, you know? But I saved the pattern open on phone, so that way I remember. Because that's something I do need a pattern for. All right, let's make sure it goes this way. Because I put that other one on the top. How many are left? 2? Okay. I still have to make the borders, though. Come on. Okay, put this up on the wall. Obviously, I'm just kind of throwing them on the wall. I'm not really making it all that nice. just because I'm going to take them down and resew them some more. I just need it to stay momentarily. All right. I press these. The bottom, that was the top. There's really no messing this one up, honestly, but I still want to make sure it's the way I laid it on the wall. Don't forget, coming soon, I'm not sure exactly the date, we're going to start our double wedding ring. It's going to be on Sew Sunday videos, and it's going to run until it's done. Obviously, it'll be something that I work on off and on camera, and you guys will be able to as well. But I'll let you know when I'm going to start it. But start getting your supplies now, your templates or whatever you need. I could tell you right now, all double wedding rings are going to be about the same. So if you get, say you have an AccuQuilt machine and it has the double wedding ring template for your Go Big thing, you know, because they don't make it for the mini baby one. If you have that, it's pretty much the same thing. We're piecing together the arcs to make the arc parts, and then we're inserting that in and creating a circle-y block, which we insert other pieces to create, you know what I mean, the double wedding ring. So just know that no matter what template set, what size your template set, everything's still kind of the same. Just make sure the book that you have to go with your template set or your AccuQuilt dies or any of that has your fabric requirements of the size quilt, because we've already been asked this. I don't know what size your quilt's going to be. I don't know what you're going to need for that size. Make sure you look in your book, because your book will tell you. You choose that pattern, you know how much fabric you're going to need. I am, however, using scraps for mine. So the only fabric yardage I need is the parts that go in between the rings. That's the only thing I need yardage for. Everything else will be scraps on mine.
How many colors?
You can have as many colors as you want. I'm using like 30 different fabrics, probably even 40 different fabrics. And mine, but mine's going to be a theme. You'll see when we go to do it, because I did that little video of all the things I got. You'll see what I'm using it all for. It's going to be for that double wedding ring. I'm going for a traditional looking one instead of wild and bright. No. But I made a little short video that shows the fabrics that I got, and we'll just say like 70% of what I got was towards double wedding ring. So if you watch that little short of the fabric I got at the quilters yard sale, the guild yard sale, then you'll see. Just take a wild guess. You get the hint when you start seeing the colors.
Will it work in 2 colors?
Yeah, you can do a double wedding ring in 2 colors. You can do straight arches too. You don't have to do the pieced arches. You can do whatever you want. It's your quilt. But they make patterns. Mine are the Omnigrid. No, Omnigrid set. I'll look in 2 seconds just so that you guys know. Mine are not available no more. I looked them up online though. Mine I got at an estate sale long ago. I'll leave this row right here. Mine I got at an estate sale long ago. It's Omnigrid's double wedding ring. That's what my template set is. But again, you're not going to find that. I mean, you'll probably find maybe some used ones on Etsy or eBay or Amazon or something, but it's not available. I already looked. And I do have another double wedding ring set. It's totally different though, and I forgot where I put it. It's somewhere over there. But I chose to use the Omnigrid one because it looks like it makes a bigger block. All right, this one is now going to go under this one, because that was the top. Turn this way, put it on my lap. line it up, stitch on down. Sorry if that's loud when I cough. The change in the weather is getting to me. Probably what activated my eyeballs. You never know. It was cold all last week. Like, seriously, in the beginning of April and end of May or March, it's usually warm, but no. Couple days where the sky thought it should trickle on us, but it didn't really rain, you know, like, are you kidding me? But the sun stayed behind clouds the whole time and everything. It's like, what? No warmth. Ugh.
Getting used to the cutter on the foot pedal?
I had no. The question was, do I have any trouble getting used to the thread cutter on the foot pedal? No, I don't. I don't know how to explain this. When my foot is on the pedal, the top of my foot is what's touching the top of the foot pedal, but the bottom of my foot really doesn't touch the end of the foot pedal like you think. I'm not like purposely holding it up, my heel, you know, to keep it off of there. But it's how I've used all pedals. If that makes any sense. I only touch on the top. I never touch the bottom part until I use the thread cutter. And then I take my top. So here's the pedal right here. It sits sideways. I use the top to turn it on. And then when ready, instead of using my heel on the bottom, I actually slide my foot down and hit the bottom of the pedal to cut the thread. Weird, I know, but that's how I used all pedals, was just only the top of my foot. So when I alternate feet on the foot pedal, I'm actually working my calves out at the same time. So I have nice calves, you know, even though I don't really work out, but I do at the same time. I actually don't touch I use the foot pedal like I would in the car, pretty much. I just use the top of my foot because you don't use your whole foot on a car pedal. They say you have better control if you use just the top part of your foot. All right, I'm going to press this. Sew the other two together and then sew all.
Do you know anything about the auto needle threader on QBPN?
I have no idea about any threader things on other machines. I just know the one on the TL2010Q sucks, so don't buy the machine because of the threader, because you're not going to like it. Buy it because of the speed and the fact that it's a straight stitch machine and that it's awesome. The threader has nothing to do with it. That threader, everyone else can use it but me. But then I've heard everybody else can't use it, so I guess I'm not the only one. But I've met a lot of people who just cannot use that threader, and they just didn't design it. They should have designed it like what's on the HZL F600 that I have. It should have been designed like that. Because the design on that machine, the threader's like hooks into a hook thing. This one, it does not. You literally have to get it right, and I never do, so. All right, that one's the top one. This one's the bottom. Yeah, I've never, ever, since the beginning I bought this machine, I could not get that threader on here to work. It is not a very good design at all. Everything else is great. This machine is great because it's not computerized and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you can change your stitch length, but you don't have any extra things to worry about. You can drop your feed dogs at the touch of pushing this little lever. You reverse it, one lever, you can put your needle up and down, one button, and a thread cutter on the machine. And the tension and all that's really easy to adjust the dials. I mean, You can lift the pressure of the foot, you know, you can lift the pressure. So if I'm doing free motion quilting, I take this all the way up so that my foot doesn't touch the layers of fabric, you know, for free motion quilting, although I don't free motion quilt on here, but if I did, for bags and stuff, I can lift that though, you know, if I make bags in their thicker fabrics, that really helps with that. So I'm going to press this one and then hook the two halves together. If I can press it easily. I'm not doing the most fabulous pressing job today, but I'm at least getting it done. So that's a good one. No, you're not in my way. Right, I'm gonna put these together over here on the ironing board and then come over and sew them. And from this point, it doesn't really matter which one's the top or the bottom because the way I lined it up don't matter. The colors are just wherever they are. So this is a non-directional quilt. And once I get the borders on, it will still be non-directional. Did I ever what?
Get to meet Donna Jordan?
Never got to meet Donna Jordan, unfortunately. And you know, the weird thing is well, before I started quilting back in 08, I did go through that area of Oregon at Grants Pass. And I had, guess what? A flat tire because an iron rod got stuck in the tire. Then I left my car on the road and walked to the nearest whatever. And a cop decides to stop me on the side of the highway and say, "You can't leave your car there, ma'am." I really did not like the state of Oregon at that moment. I said, "Dude, I'm just going up here to see if there's a tire shop so they can come get my car and put a tire on it." Like, seriously. I wasn't even there. 15 minutes from the time I realized I needed a tire and I didn't have a spare, you know, to the time I got to the thing, to the off-ramp thing. I was like, seriously? Yeah. Sorry, Oregon people. I know, but there's things in other states that other people do differently. I mean, give me at least an hour to get the tire for my car, you know? My goodness.
It's just one experience.
Yeah, it's just one experience. But yeah, if I was a quilter, I would have definitely took advantage of the fact that I was in Grants Pass, Oregon.
That's before you were.
But that was well before I was a quilter, or else I would have went and said hi. And I haven't, been anywhere other than, since I've been a quilter, I haven't been anywhere other than the state of California, Nevada, and to Virginia and North Carolina. Those are the only places I've been since I've been a quilter.
You've been to Arizona.
Obviously, I've been to Arizona. Done lots of things in the state of Arizona. Wait, I live in Arizona, so that's why. I don't travel much. I didn't either back then, but I was taking a friend's dogs to them. They couldn't take them on the flight, so I drove all the way from Arizona to the state of Washington to take the dogs to the state of Washington. And then I decided to visit my cousin Tara while I was there, and my friend Dave. But my cousin Tara lived there on a base, so I got to see what it was like on an army base and all sorts of stuff. It's gonna temporarily, for now, until I get the borders done. Just sit there and I can. No, because I'm gonna start putting these guys together. All right, let's grab this pile. So this is a pile of 16. Let's do another stack of 16. Which way was I doing it? Because this is for the other side. The sides are all gonna go in the same direction. Let's just do a side first. How about that? Because then I'm gonna confuse myself. And I'm not going to press these any specific way because I'm going to try to nest them with whatever the edge seams are along the way. So I'm literally just hooking 2 rows of 16 and 2 rows of 18 for these borders. And I could have done this and another border to make it even bigger. I'm pretty sure I have some kind of floral fabric in my room that would go with this quilt, But I think I'm going to stop at this border and call this the last border of it. We'll see how big it is, though, once they're on. Come on. Okay, so let's just put this up here so that you can see. That's this direction. Let's see. Oh, there's 2 pinks next to each other. I don't want that. Will it go the same way if I turn it around like this? Yep. Let's see. Any matchings next to each other? Nope. Okay. Perfect. That's going to go on that side. Now let's do another set of 16, and we're going to hope that it lands right. We want them this direction. And I'm hooking to the bottom, so they hold this way. So I'm going to just put 16 together. And this time I'm just going to go one right after the other. That way I can see it every single time. And these are no particular order because they're just in no particular order. Trying to mix up the colors really nicely. I don't know what number I'm 6. 7. 8. 9. Any questions?
Can you tell me in one honorable mention in Pennsylvania?
Ian, my friend Ian, off-kilter crafter Ian, entered a quilt show in Pennsylvania, and he won an honorable mention ribbon. That guy's got more ribbons than I do. He's gone ribbon crazy. He's winning all sorts of ribbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't want 3 yellows in a row. 11. I have a lot of yellow here.
Each side, 5-inch half square triangles.
They were 5 inches. Now they are 4.5-inch half square triangles. Oh, come on. Let's do those 2 combo. I don't know how many I'm at now again. Totally messed myself up all over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I'll do this one. All right. There we go. Just pre-pull them out and just put them together. We don't want it that way. We want it this way.
I want a 5-inch half square triangle square. How big do I cut the square before making the half square triangle?
You what?
If I want a 5-inch half square triangle square, how big do I cut the square before making the half square triangle?
6 inches. So if you want a 5, so the rule is to add 7/8. I never do 7/8. I skip that number because why? You get more to trim if you screw up your quarter-inch seam lines if you did the next number. So if you want 5-inch half square triangles, if you want this to be an unfinished block at 5 inches, then you want a 6-inch, 2 6-inch squares to start with. Draw out your diagonal line, sew on both sides of the diagonal, and then trim them to 5 inches. So if you want 4.5, then go to 5-inch. If you want, not 6, why am I saying 6? 5.5. No, you want 5 7/8. So yeah, 6 inches. I'm trying to think. What am I thinking about? Any size, just go a number up when you're making 2 at a time half square triangles. Just go one number up. So if you need 8-inch unfinished half square triangles, then you would cut 9-inch squares. Okay. They always say like 8 7/8 or 7 7/8 or 6 7/8. I don't ever bother with the 7/8. That number just stays out of my sewing room. Anything with 8s, I don't use. All right, this one's going to go on this side, which I can't hang up, but we're going to see if it has any that line up next to each other that are the same. And so far, I don't see any. Okay, let's attach this one real quick. Actually, let's attach the other one first because I really can't make that work. We'll just leave it right there. How about we just make the top and the bottom? No, let's not make the top and the bottom. Let's attach the sides first. Press it and then make the top and bottom. Oh, no. again, I didn't press them because this is allowing me to put the seam in whatever way that row is going. So this one can go up, and this one will go up. That way everything nests together nicely. The shirt likes to ride up. It drives me nuts. The girls are too big for this shirt, is what it is. So the shirt, every time I move my arms, it wants to go above. The whole thing just goes upward.
Problems that arise.
It's those female problems, you know? All you ladies know what I'm talking about. All right. Oops. I just realized my thread is tangled here. I gotta find a threader though. It's not where it's normally at. I don't know how that happened. It did it again. Did it do it again? Don't tangle. So weird. Anyways, let me press this and then we'll add the other side before I make the tops and bottom, which are going to be 18 squares instead of 16. This takes a minute because I got to get these seams pressed the way I sewed them real quick first. Just going to use steam to help them go the way I want them to go. Oh, don't fall. Don't fall.
You want me to hold the side up?
Nope, I'm fine.
Well, you're having an issue here.
Yes, I am having an issue
So
here.
I said, how about I hold the side up?
It's just because I keep stepping on the quilt and it just falls. He says he's trying to help, but all he's doing is squeezing my butt.
I wasn't going to say that. Okay.
Husbands can't live with him and can't live without him.
Oh, really now?
All right, one side is on. Let's figure out which way I had this other one. And then we'll turn it upside down to get it on. Right. Oh, nope, that doesn't match. Okay, good. Didn't match, doesn't match. Perfect. All right, now to go this way. Put this whole thing on my lap and on the desk. All right. And I already kind of know what I want to quilt on this one. Only because I've been staring at it on the wall for over a week.
Well, it's the first ever. You know what you're going to quilt before it's
I
loaded.
never know what I'm going to quilt before I load it on the long arm. But this one, I think I'm going to do a swirl flower because we need to bring out the fact that, not bring out, but, you know, dull down the fact that there is a lot of half square triangles and blockness to this quilt. So I think go into a spiral and then create feather plumes off of it and then go into another spiral, feather plumes, you know. I think that curvedness of the quilting will accentuate this lovely quilt. But that's a first that I would know. I don't usually know. Usually it's just whatever I do whenever I do it. But this one, you know, after sitting on the wall, I know. What size are these borders? They're the same 4.5-inch squares. Yeah, the half square triangles were 5 inches. And when you make 2 at a time, then you trim it down to 4.5 inches. Yes. I'm just using it, yes, purposely because I need these to go down quick. Yeah, it leaks, but it's not leaking right now, so that's a good thing. There's not a lot of water in it. But I do like steam. I love an iron with steam. That's why I wish that Laura Star iron was an affordable iron, but it is definitely not an affordable iron.
You don't need that big monster's contraption. Missy. You're doing good with your cheapo Walmart ones.
Yeah, I like my cheapo Walmart ones. All right. I'm going to put this back on the wall and we're going to just keep it low because I want to.
I got you. Let me get this side. I got you.
Kind of tack it down to the wall for a moment.
You're going to do it top and bottom? Because now it's
Yeah,
wider.
I'm doing top and bottom, yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's wider now.
Yep, I made just enough triangles to do all 4 sides. So now I need 18 of them. I'm just going to count out 18 real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5.
What's the name of the expensive
6,
iron you mentioned?
7. A Laura Star is the name of the expensive. 8. Okay, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. I knew I made it exactly the right amount. Now I need to see which way they go. It's going to be this direction. That direction. Okay. Right here. So I'm just going to attach them all on, facing the same. I'm going to just put these in sets of 2, then 4, blah, blah, blah. I think it goes faster that way. I just have to remember the direction that I'm laying them, because I'm not picking them up all the same way. this way, that way, this way. Whew. I never have confused myself more than this. Like, and I'm still not remembering which way I'm laying things. Like, how am I not remembering it? Should have stacked them all that direction, I guess. Come on. All right, move that out of the way. And then the bottom is going to be the same thing, right? Like this, right? Like this, okay. Like this. Let's put the stack like this. Like this and like that and like that and like this. So fun though, just making things up like this on the fly. Any other questions or anything? I feel like I went silent again. Silence kills. Thumper's Adventure. Scott says talk about Thumper's Adventures. Well, so you guys know we had a litter box debacle here, you know, because Thumper and his litter box, he was jumping and it was rubbing his belly and making a mess. So we got him a low step-in litter box, right? Well, first we started with a small one, but we realized he's too big of a cat for the little litter box, so we decided to get a bigger one. But it had half walls. Those half walls weren't working. They obviously to hold the litter in, but because it had a lip to it, and all of them had this lip, no matter what box we looked at, they all had this weird lip. So Scott chopped off the lip and then filed it down. It's plastic, you know, so he was able to do that. So all this time, though, Thumper is not even going in the box. Scott cleans this box and this litter box all day, every day, like constantly, right? Thumper thinks he's in the box. He's standing in it, but he's doing his business outside of the box. It's not landing in it, it's landing out of it. So this whole entire time since it's been like almost a year of this whole it's been a couple months, whatever, this whole debacle of him and his box. So Scott kept saying, well, I'm going to switch back to his old box, which is a covered lid box, but it has quite the height to jump up in. But we'll figure out a way to make a ramp so that he can climb up the ramp and his little gut doesn't like hang on it and get all red and irritated. So then we're thinking, okay, how about we take a bolt, a fabric bolt, the cardboard bolt, build two legs, one the first height and of the entrance of the litter box and one lower so that it has an angle, and then wrap it in binder's twine. So that way it gets the litter off his feet as he goes. But then we realized no matter which way we put the box in the bathroom, everyone's going to trip over this long bolt, you know, wrapped with binder twine. So then we decided, how about we make steps out of boxes? We came to soon realize today that this was a dumb idea. I don't know why we didn't think of it. He likes to play with boxes. He doesn't like to climb on them. He likes to shove them and move them and have fun with them. So we tried the box thing, but guess what Scott caught him doing? Playing with boxes. So now he just has one box and we put hot glue gun. So it's just one box. So his step now is about this far from the box to the opening. Okay. And then the litter is, if the box is this tall, the litter is about up here, right? So now his walk step in isn't as much. It shouldn't catch his belly you know? So, but it's just one box now, and we put hot glue gun on the bottom of it, let it dry, and now it's like a rubber thing. It can't be moved on the floor. So now
it's not stuck to the floor.
It's not stuck to the floor.
So I can still clean up any messes.
He can pick it up and clean it, but you can't rub the box against the floor. So Thumper won't be able to rub this box. And then we put the litter mat, like a little paw thing, but it's a mat that catches litter. We put that on top of the box. So we're going to see how well that does. He hasn't used the box since we did it, but it's been months of this whole Thumper and his litter box problems. Like, he is a spoiled, rotten cat.
Yes, he is.
But if it's not right for him, he'll go anywhere else in that bathroom but the litter box. So this whole switching this litter box thing, we're just hoping it doesn't backfire on us. He's used it once so far, but again, he played with the boxes instead. So, like, why does he have to be such a needy cat, you know? But we're trying to keep him from hurting his belly, because when it was irritated, I don't know, you guys know I shave him, and those are new to my channel don't know, but I do shave the cat, and he's gets a lion cut every year. Sometimes I do a dragon, but most times I just do a lion cut. But it's because he's a very furry cat, and he's meant for cold weather. He's not meant for Arizona hot weather. He only knows the temperatures between, well, like, I think like 58 is the coldest we've ever let this house get, and 80.
No, not 58.
It's been 58 in here before. No. Yes, in the wintertime. Yes.
No.
Yes.
We have the heat on. No.
We've turned the heat on, yes, but when it comes on. Anyways, he only knows 60 to 80. That's it. He doesn't know any other temperature. Well, anything above 80, for those, you know, this time of year when we don't turn the AC on yet, we just open the doors and windows and let the natural coolness come in. It does get a little warm in here. So in the summertime, I shave him because he likes to lay in windows, and windows are hot in the summertime. But he likes to lay in them. We can't stop him. So I keep him shaved, but when his belly hangs, when he's shaved, it again was dragging on the litter box. It got so red, and it gets irritated from that so much that he licks it more. When he licks it, he chews it, that area. So he gets irritated rashes really bad. So it's a good thing I shave him, because it keeps those rashes from getting anything on them litter-wise, because litter is dirty and then it would infect him, and then we would have a whole nother story with the cat, you know. But yeah, Thumper is going to get shaved soon. We're waiting for it to kind of warm up just a little bit more, because it's still pretty chilly in the mornings here. I mean, I was talking on the phone with Ian the other day, and he was warmer in Virginia weather than we were here in Arizona. So got a little bit more warmer. Probably by the end of the month, I'll shave him, and he'll get a nice, good cut. I almost put two together that were the same here. So hopefully his gut doesn't do the thing it did before. Hopefully the step-up box will help, but we'll see. Again, those two are going to match. Oh, again, those two are going to match. I got to pay attention to this. Those two are going to match again, and these two are going to match. Darn it, what did I do? I'll have to steal from the other pile, I think. Or I can just hook it to the top. Let's turn it around and hook it to the top. Aha. Problem solved. It goes that way? Sure, why not? We have a very spoiled cat, if you guys didn't know. He has his own quilts all over the house and everything. Like, he's so spoiled. He has a bazillion little hidey holes that he hangs out. Funny thing is we've learned, and we've watched it and watched it and watched it. If he's sleeping in his rocking chair or under the long arm or wherever it is, as soon as I turn my long arm on and start loading a quilt and turn some music on to quilt, he literally jumps out of wherever he's at and lays at my feet in front of the speaker to listen to the music, because I listen to rock and he likes rock. He's a rock kitty. Classic rock or 90s alternative. He likes it all. he even likes some hip hop, but I think he goes and hides with hip hop. And I only listen to hip hop when I feel like I need some dancing, you know? If you were curious, after gymnastics, you know what I actually ended up doing was I guess you would call it cheer gymnastics. I was a cheerleader but I did the gymnastics tumbling moves. So we went to championship games and not games, but like we were a cheerleading thingamabobber, and the kind where flip up on somebody's arm and do handstands and stuff like that. Yes, but I was the tumbler. I was the one that was just going back and forth. No, not really much cheering from me, because I definitely am not a cheerleader. But from gymnastics, I went into gymnastics cheer. I went to all sorts of cool stuff and games and competitions and so on and so forth. I even have a trophy from it. I probably could have went further, but you know, I wanted to move to Arizona, so I just gave up on all that because we don't cheer in Arizona. It's too hot. Wait, we could cheer. We'd go outside and do a rain dance to try to get some rain, but that's about it. And then we go outside and cheer when it does rain and cool down. That's about it. All right. As soon as this is done, we'll get these on, and then this quilt will be done. Well, the top will be done. The top will be done. Hopefully there's no matchy-matchies, but guess what? I'm not going to care if there is at the end like this. But we're trying not to form a diamond with them matching next to each other. So that's the whole goal, is not to have any diamonds on the edges, because this quilt doesn't have any diamonds. Although it probably would have been cool if I did match them all up and make diamonds on the ends, but I probably would have needed more combinations of color for it to land right. All right, let's choose one to be the bottom and one to be the top by holding it here and seeing. Nope, doesn't match. Oh, that one matches. Turn it around. No matching, not matching, not matching, not matching. Doesn't match. Nope, 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 nope. So far, that's the bottom. Let's check this top. Looks good, looks good. Nothing matches. Nothing matches. So far, so good. Okay, here's the top. I'm going to put the top on now. I don't know, whatever.
How about we measure it when
How about I measure it when it's done? How about that?
There you go.
It's apparently more than, it's 72 inches or abouts, because it fits the frame of my opening here, which is 72 inches. So it's about around that. And it's going to be a complete square. I usually don't make square quilts, but sometimes, you know, they work out perfect. So this is like the perfect size lap quilt for a couch cuddling, you know, for two people, not just one. Unless you're a, you know, quilt hog, then obviously it's just a single person quilt. But technically, if you think about it, a love seat is only like 70 inches long, which is the opening right here, you know? So.
Jim put a link in for last week.
Jim put a link in for last week's video in case you want to know, and my 4 patches out of it. They give you all of the information there. Today's goal was to just get it put together so that I didn't have to stare at it on the wall any longer. Oh, shoot. Yep. I have sewed almost this whole entire thing with no thread in the bobbin. Whew. I can't really see it that well anyway, so everything is still really blurry. Let's try this again. I feel like Ace Ventura. Alrighty then. So that just happened. I gotta flip all these seams all over again. Why couldn't they just stay the way I put them? Oy, oy, oy. I sewed all the way down to almost where I'm coming up to right now. Right there, without thread. Seriously? That's a rarity for me to do. I usually catch it right away. But I'm not even looking at that side of the quilt. I'm only looking what's going up to the machine, not what's coming out. We're probably going to go over like 5 minutes or so. I try to keep these videos at 2 hours, but literally, you know. I showed you guys the projects I was working on in the beginning, though, so that's okay. Things that I finished this week, since I don't do the little vlog videos I did for a little while, but I, for the life of me, have only kept to Sew Sundays and Breakfast at Tiffany's so far. I have a hard time with vlogs and upload this and make this and edit that and blah, blah, blah. All right, let me press this in just a second, and then we'll come back and sew the bottom one on, or top, because technically it doesn't really matter. It's not a directional quilt. It is longer than my ironing board, so my ironing board is 64 inches. Press that back. Come on. Thank you. And I've picked up every thread in my sewing room into the seams of this quilt somehow. How does that even happen? All right, if that was the top, then this is the bottom. Let's bring it down right here. Make sure one more time. No, and nope, none of that matches. Yay! And I shouldn't run out of bobbin because I just changed it. There we go. Last seam. Can't tell which way that wants to go. Okay. I guess the one thing, other than that needle threader on the TL2010Q, not being able to use it properly, the one thing I absolutely do not like about this machine is that the bed that the bobbin case goes in, your needle plate, is not flush with the machine. It has a lip. On the back side, it feels flush, but the front side, it doesn't. It's not flush at all. So what it does is it takes these seams on the bottom, and if that seam is facing up like you want it to face up, it flips it, because it'll hit that and it'll flip it right before, you know, and then you can't stop it because you're already at the needle by then when you realize it flipped the seam. So that's one thing I don't like about it. And I've tried to screw it down tighter to see if it goes in, but it doesn't. The set in part of the machine around the bed itself does not go in any further. And it wasn't just this machine, it's my other TL 2010Q also. So far, both machines that I've had, they don't make it set down in. So I guess if you know, are like me and sew where you just do the seams, you don't pre-pin anything for it to stay in place, then and you sew like me without pinning, then you have to constantly pay attention if you're trying to flip a seam a certain way, or else this thing will automatically flip the seams however it wants to, because, you know, it even flips, it'll take an open seam and close it, you know, or whatever. That's the only thing I've always disliked about this machine. But it's a very minor thing. Obviously. Drives me crazy, but it's a minor problem. And I just realized, because I can't see very well, that I veered right here away from a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Let's fix that by re-sewing it. It's a good thing I have the seam guide on here, but it doesn't always work because sometimes I take things the opposite way. Huh? I've had tape over it before. The tape just comes off. Just like this tape that's on here already for the, what is it called? The seam tape, you know, with the lines. That, it just comes off because there's too much friction happening right here. So I've tried it though. I've tried the tape thing. All they have to do is really just, you know, like file that in more, I think, so that it sits in the compartment instead of on top of it. Okay, let me press this, and then I'm not going to press the whole thing very, very good. I'm just going to press this border, and then we'll hang it up on the wall. It should be okay enough for now. Just to at least show you guys the whole thing. It's going to be bigger than the wall, I think, though. But we'll try to hang it up there nicely. I'll press it better later. I usually press all the quilts before I load them on the long arm anyway, unless they're pressed nicely before I hang it in the closet. But 90% of the time I press before it goes to the long arm. All right, I think this looks very cool. All right, you want to help me?
Yes, are you ready?
Yep.
All righty. This is beautiful. How high up are we going?
I can go that high. You
Okay.
can come down on your side. I think you're too high.
Okay,
there you go.
Whatever. Okay.
Yep. You're at the edge of the wall over there. So yeah, it's bigger than 72 inches. It's probably 74-ish.
One lady said we ought to put little bunnies in the white. Embroider little bunnies in the white squares.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that. Embroider anything. I need a measuring thing, please.
Measuring tape?
Yep. You can also unplug the iron while you're back there.
Okay. Want me to get one side?
Well, it's kind of folded in here, so let's...
Yeah, you can just guess.
Yeah. I'm going to push it in like this. There you go.
It's a good guess that it's 73.
It's going to be a square. It's 73 by 73.
Okay.
It's a square, so it's 73 inches-ish.
Ish.
It's not fully pressed nicely either, so I mean, it's probably a lot. It's probably at least a half inch bigger than that. Plus, it's also laying on the wall crooked. I noticed this side's way over, but up there is really, yeah. My height and Scott's height combined does not do very well with laying these on the wall. But I like it with the border around it. Plus, it allowed me to use up more squares, the half square triangles, more of that fabric. All right. So that's what it is. Can they see the borders? I don't have the YouTube on. I turned it off earlier.
Yeah. They can see the side one, not the top and bottom.
Oh, okay.
Just tell them if they have any questions.
If you have any questions, just ask. Let me know, and Scott will show you the top and bottom real quick. I think it's adorable. I'm looking at it through the lens of the camera. Yeah. I think adding the extra half square triangles to the border made it even better. And just remember, these are little bees, flowers, fabric that says flowers all over it, but in different fonts. Like seriously, different color flowers, flowers with bees, flowers without bees, regular plain like roses, jars that say French flowers. Like, what does that jar actually?
Some of the all white ones are not all white.
Finch flowers. No, they all say different things, huh?
Some of the all white ones are not all white. There's an all white.
Oh, yeah, white ones. The white ones are not all white. There's a print on there, and I probably should have paid attention to this right here. I didn't pay attention to that when I laid it out. Sorry. But yeah, no, there's a print. It's tone on tone. Is that the only one?
What are you going to call the quilt?
Flowers. Even though I had a flowers quilt, this one's just flowers. Or it could be flower garden or flower path.
Flower garden.
Oh, I already had a flower garden, huh? I don't know. What is it called when you put
Very
your
Eastery looking.
What is it called when you put stones in your garden? Pebble path?
Yeah, there you go.
Pebble path. There's my hair. Oh my gosh, that's so long.
Candy as a name. There you go.
Cotton candy. Nah, it doesn't look like. I mean, it doesn't look like it to me, but I mean, yes, it's a good name. I don't know. I don't even have to name it. I can just slap on a tag and call it a day.
Pixel flowers. It's all
Pixel flowers.
Squares.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or how about just call it, it's finished.
There you go.
Or use me, love me, cuddle me.
There you go. That works too.
Have you ever just done that on a tag? Just put use me, love me, cuddle me. And call it a day.
That's a good idea.
You know, I put cuddle me on plenty of quilts or love me. So, all right, guys, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and get my little fanny off of here because I only have a small pizza and I need to eat something else. I'm hungry. So I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye. Toodles. See ya.